Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, when you look at the Cleveland Browns heading into the 2025 NFL season, there's a lot of buzz, a lot of questions, and certainly some intriguing possibilities that could reshape this team's trajectory for years to come. The Browns, as you all know, have been on an interesting journey over the past few seasons. They've built a solid defense, brought in some key pieces on offense, but as always, the quarterback position remains a bit of a puzzle. And right now, that's the biggest question mark hanging over this team. Who will be the guy leading Cleveland in 2025? Will it be Deshaun Watson continuing to find his rhythm, or will the Browns make a bold move to upgrade the position? That remains to be seen, but what's equally interesting is the team's approach to filling the gaps around their quarterback. One of those gaps, as many fans are aware, is at wide receiver. The Browns have some decent players, no doubt about it, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Deontay Johnson. But beyond that, the depth drops off significantly. And anyone who's watched the NFL knows that having a reliable, explosive WR2 or WR3 can make all the difference in tight games, especially when trying to punch through tough defenses in the playoffs. So naturally, there's a lot of speculation about whether Cleveland might look to upgrade that position before the season kicks off. And that's where things get really interesting, because one name has been floating around as a potential target: Terry McLaurin from the Washington Commanders. Now, McLaurin is not just any wide receiver. He's a guy who has consistently proven he can produce at a high level in the NFL. Coming out of Ohio State, he's a familiar face for Cleveland fans, which adds a little extra appeal to the possibility of him donning the Browns' orange and brown. During the 2024 season, McLaurin really showed his class. He caught 82 passes for over 96 yards and 13 touchdowns, averaging about 4 yards per reception. Those are solid numbers, and when you look at his targeted 117 times, it's clear that Washington relied on him heavily, even with some quarterback instability over the years. That production, combined with his route-running ability and hands, makes him one of the more attractive options on the trade market. But here's the thing, McLaurin is entering the final year of his contract, and he's looking for a long-term deal, which could put him in a tricky spot with Washington. Rumors are swirling that he might hold out of training camp if the Commanders don't get serious about a new contract. And if Washington doesn't make that move, there's a real chance that other teams, including Cleveland, could come knocking. Now, would the Browns be willing to give up significant draft capital for a player like McLaurin? That's a question that's being debated among fans and analysts alike. Some say Cleveland isn't necessarily a team that's just one wide receiver away from Super Bowl contention, especially considering their current roster and the depth issues they're facing. The team has other holes to fill, especially on defense and offensive line. Let's be honest, Cleveland has been in a bit of a rebuild mode for a while now. They made some smart moves, brought in key players on defense, and have a promising core, but the offense still needs that spark, that game-changing receiver who can take the top off defenses and make the tough catches in clutch moments. That's exactly what McLaurin brings to the table. His chemistry with a talented quarterback like Deshaun Watson, if they can develop that, could be a game-changer for the Browns' passing attack. But as Mary Kay Cabot pointed out on Cleveland's Talking Heads on 92.3 The Fan, the Browns might not be aggressively pursuing a big-name, high-priced wide receiver like McLaurin. She mentioned, "I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't get the sense right now that they're looking to add a big, high-priced WR." That's an important point. Cleveland has been cautious in their approach, especially given their recent draft history and salary cap considerations. Giving up a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft for McLaurin wouldn't be a small decision, especially when the team believes they have some promising young receivers in Tillman and others who could develop into reliable targets. Plus, the current state of the Browns, roster suggests they're not just one piece away from a Super Bowl run. They still have a lot of work to do on the defensive side of the ball, adding more pass rushers, improving the secondary, and on the offensive line, which has shown some promise but still needs consistency. Cleveland is building for the future, and while adding a player like McLaurin would certainly boost the offense, it might not be the complete answer to their bigger issues. Now, let's talk a little about McLaurin's style and what he could bring to Cleveland if the trade were to happen. He's a versatile receiver, can line up inside or outside, runs precise routes, and has excellent hands. His ability to create separation and make contested catches makes him a threat on every down. And with the way Cleveland's offense is evolving, having a receiver with that kind of skill set could really open things up for Watson and the running game, which has been a staple of the Browns' attack. But there's also the question of whether McLaurin would even consider signing with Cleveland long-term if traded. Returning to Ohio, where he played college ball at Ohio State, could be a motivating factor for him. Playing in his home state, wearing the Browns' colors, and contributing to a team with Super Bowl aspirations, those are all compelling reasons. However, he's also likely considering the team's overall competitiveness, the direction of the franchise, and the quarterback situation. If Cleveland can establish a strong offensive identity and prove that they're serious about contending, perhaps McLaurin could be swayed. Still, the reality is that Cleveland's front office will have to weigh whether they want to part with valuable draft picks and assets for a player who might not be the final piece, but could help accelerate their offensive development. Given their current roster and the depth of the 2025 draft class, it's an intriguing debate. The Browns are in a unique position. They have a talented core, a solid defense, and a fan base hungry for postseason success. But they also know that to truly compete at the highest level, they need more weapons and consistency on offense. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Browns should go all in and try to acquire Terry McLaurin? Would you be willing to see a first-round pick traded for him? Or do you believe they should focus on developing their young receivers and building through the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Remember, the NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and with the Browns continuously improving and exploring options, we're in for an exciting ride. Whether it's trades, draft picks, or new signings, Cleveland fans have plenty to look forward to as they support their team on this journey toward another possible Super Bowl run. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive, and as always, keep the passion alive for your Cleveland Browns.